Good evening or late afternoon on this lovely Tuesday in January, February, April, May, March. I don't know where we are anymore with this lockdown. So welcome to Hanging Cable South Africa and Raceday.tv. Joining us tonight as ever, Cliffy. How are you doing, my buddy?
Man, I'm just trying to hang in there for the time being. It's been quite a challenge lying around doing nothing, eh?
Yeah, look, I think there's more doing than lying around doing nothing. I think you're lying on your behalf. I've had a few voice notes pointing out that you've been doing the opposite. We've got a fun-packed show tonight. Obviously, there's a lot of discussions going around about racing internationally, racing locally with Superbikes. Everyone's kind of waiting to see how it's going to play out. We haven't made a bit of a scene about the virus spreading just because we've been trying to keep it focused on the sport and lighthearted. But tonight, Clifford, we need to get into some nitty-gritty details, I believe, my bud. We're going to speak to Rob Portman from Ride Fast Magazine. Have a good catch-up with him. I think he'll be able to help us clear up some conspiracy theories or information around MotoGP riders, contracts, local riders in the SASBK, what's happening, that kind of thing. And then speaking to a rider in the SASBK, Ricardo Otto tonight. And then a little mystery guest later, bud.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff. I'm actually excited to chat to Rob because, yeah, like you said, there's been a lot, especially even today, on the international scene. Dorna have come out and said that, there's a possibility that the whole season might be cancelled. And to go a whole season without racing is terrible just to think about it. But it also makes you wonder what happens to riders' contracts and that sort of thing that have signed for 2 years and now going into the second year of their contract with it being cancelled. What will happen then? So, yeah, I'm keen to chat to Rob about that. I also wonder if he's heard anything about Monaco because they still kept Pekiso on the calendar as tentative. But, we're starting to push now. There's talks of the lockdown being extended. So I wonder if there's been any feedback there. So, yeah, we wait to hear from him. So I'm quite excited.
Cool. Well, further ado, the man himself, Mr. Portman, how are you? And welcome to Hanging Cable.
Yeah, good on you guys, man. Always a pleasure to join you, especially now when I have nothing else to do. I've done my washing 5,000 times. I've cleaned the house 10,000 times. So yeah, something different to do is nice.
Good. Well, it's good to have you on the show, Rob. I'm going to jump straight into it. Cliffy had a whole bunch of cool questions that he wanted to ask you, but let him get into it and share your knowledge and what you know with your international affiliates, dude.
Yeah, Rob. So I've actually taken some of your recommendations on Facebook and watched quite a few MotoGP documentaries, and it's actually been quite lucky to catch up with racing and super sports actually come to the party, and they're showing a lot of classic races and stuff like that. But then today when I was scrolling through Facebook, I saw that Dorna are now possibly considering the cancelling the 2020 season. And that makes me start to wonder what happens to guys that are on contract for 2 years like Rossi now. There was talk that Quartararo is going to take his ride. What would happen to someone like him? Would they look to extend the contract beyond that, or is it now, sorry for you, you're without a ride?
It's such a, who would have ever thought we would be in this situation talking about a racing season not happening, talking about us sitting at home doing nothing. And yeah, this COVID-19, it really has just hit the world. And the news came out today. Carlo Espoleto, who's the CEO of Dorna, which is MotoGP, has up till now said, don't worry, we're postponing races, but we will have a race season. We guarantee you that. And for the first time today, he actually came out and said he cannot honestly say if there will be a racing season or not. I posted that press release that we got sent, and it was an official MotoGP press release that all of us journalists got. So it was direct from MotoGP. It was no joke or anything. I actually posted it on the Ride Fast page, and within 2 minutes of it being posted up, I got a WhatsApp from Brad Binder with a screenshot of that post asking me if it was an April Fool joke because, this is madness. Racing, no MotoGP racing. Cannot be. And I replied to him and said, yeah, sorry, I wish I was joking, but it's official MotoGP press release. They've come out saying now Mugello and Catalunya has been postponed, and those are races happening in June and July. That's how far ahead we are now postponing races. And the biggest problem is with it escalating as badly as it is in Europe. Europe is the hub for MotoGP, especially Spain and Italy, and those are the two worst affected places. And there's no sign of it, laying up anytime soon. It's just getting worse and worse. So I don't know what the answer is. To be honest, my gut feel and the reality of it is that I don't think there will be a MotoGP race season this year. I can't see it happening because of the teams that are based in Europe. Of course, international travel is going to be put on hold for a long time. Remember, we're not just going to come out of this in a month's time and everyone's going to be cured and COVID's gone. It's not the case of that. This thing's going to be around for a long time, and it's, you know, we've always joked and we've seen movies where, you know, you watch Avengers with Thanos where he wants to clear the world because humanity is not responsible enough. And I mean, I'd never ever thought I'd get to the point where, you know, I would live that reality of, you know, humans not being responsible enough and life being put in our own hands now. And it's literally got to that point where it's up to us now to get rid of this until there's a vaccine, which even if there is a vaccine, you know, that's going to come in. It's going to take at least a year to get into full effect and get around. So we're a long way away from this. And I think that's the reality of the whole sporting world now, not just MotoGP and motorcycle racing, but soccer, cricket, rugby. The Olympic Games have been cancelled. America's just getting worse and worse. So it's not looking good, and it is a big question now with what happens with rider contracts, because Quartararo was this year signed with the Petronas team, and next year was moving to the factory team, and Rossi was kind of out of a ride. So what happens there? Do Petronas now pay Quartararo a whole year and effectively not get any use out of him? And do Yamaha pay Rossi to sit at home and finish there? So it is a big kind of question mark. To be honest, I honestly think that these contracts will roll over to next year. I think if this year is canned, which I think it will be. You know, I know they've spoken about doing a 8 to 10 round European Championship only, but how are you going to do that in Europe when Europe is the worst effective places? I mean,
Yeah.
even if we come out of this, I don't want to be traveling to Europe in the next year. You know, I don't know who would want to be traveling to Europe in the next year, because this COVID thing just hangs around. So you don't know where or what's going to honestly happen. But I think with regards to the contracts, I think they will be carried over because of there's no race season. So technically, those contracts are null and void, basically. So Quartararo will have to see out his contract, which was effectively for 2020. But now, you know, they'll have a little clause in there, I'm sure, saying, you know, if under certain circumstances or whatever, you know, this contract will become null and void and will carry over or something. But I don't know. I mean, that's just me thumb sucking, to be honest. And I don't think anyone knows the answers. I don't even think the riders, I don't think MotoGP themselves know the answers. Espeleta went on record saying until there's a vaccine for COVID-19, the coronavirus, none of us know what's going to happen. So, there's Brad Binder sitting at home in Krugersdorp, you know, and he doesn't even know any information. He's checking the Right Fast magazine page for information. So that's how out of loop the guys are as well. And for now, it's a case of just sit and wait, like the rest of us, like the entire world is doing.
That's insane. I mean, that was my next question. I wanted to go into the Binder brothers. Like, how does that affect them? And also the riders that we have on the overseas front, you know, the Lucas and the guys like in America and Steven and that kind of thing. Like, do they all just they back home waiting? And we also have Esmed, Bjorn. He's sitting at home. Everyone's training, but like no one really knows what the future holds. And I think that's now also starting to affect the local racing scene. Clinton Solo had a podcast that they posted on SASPK also talking about the times, and it's affecting everyone, you know. So here's a question. In terms of local racing, you know, we don't know. Once again, we had a rumor. I had a phone call just before the show about some events that's starting to get planned, you know, for later the year. If all championships, you know, get shortened or kind of gets left behind, we're not sure what's going to happen. But there's already promoters trying to get things up and running. But how does that affect guys in the national series locally? Like, you know, I know a lot of the series locally is not as big as MotoGP and that kind of thing, but there's a lot of sponsorships and that kind of thing involved, and especially with NGK getting involved with SASBK now. I mean, surely everyone's just kind of taking a pause, one would assume, right?
Well, that's the other big question with you talk about the riders sitting at home and the Binder brothers and all our overseas. I mean, Matthew Skoltz is over in America. He's stuck in America. He can't come back. So he's away from his new wife, Kiki. So, you know, it's tough times for everyone. Just before the lockdown happened, I was heavily involved with the April issue deadline of Ride Fast. And the thought of the schools had just been closed down, and the thought of having my 4-year-old boy with my 1-year-old girl and Amy just at home while I'm trying to work, was hectic. We were like, what are we going to do with these kids? So luckily, Amy's parents live over in Mauritius, so sent Amy and the 2 kids to Mauritius on Tuesday, the 11th of March, not thinking they'd be there for a couple of weeks and 3 weeks while this whole thing calmed down. When the lockdown came, it was like, okay, well, geez, now I've got to potentially be without my family for, I don't even know how long. We've got it booked until May, but, people don't know when the airports are going to open. My mom was a travel agent. She's been laid off for 3 months because there's no work. No one's traveling. With regards to the magazine, it's the same thing. You can't expect advertisers to now advertise in the magazine, and that's how we run the magazine when, nothing's open. No one's going to the shops and buying products, and everything's been put on hold. And the other big question for MotoGP is, there's sponsorships involved. Are Monster Energy going to be paying the guys what they were for no coverage? You can see the riders doing as much as they can. But, the big teams with their big sponsors, now the sponsors put their money down wanting X amount of TV coverage and that were promised. If they're not getting that, again, that contract is null and void. So there's so many key factors that get played in here. It's not just the case of, I know some people say, well, why don't they just race, behind closed doors with no spectators? Well, first of all, how do you get the teams and the mechanics and the riders out of their countries? How do you transport all the bikes and everything? How do you, sponsors aren't going to pay money to let the guys race on an empty track. How does the track then make money from not charging entry fee? It's a whole spiral effect. So it really is just a tough question now. As far as the local racing scene goes, again, Sella is doing a great job. He's got sponsors to please. He's got to do as much as he can. He's got Dragon Energy, King Price, Liqui Moly, and I've seen the posts he's been doing, and it's been brilliant. And luckily these days we've got the social media platforms to do this kind of thing. If it was racing back in my day with my sponsors, I'd be sitting, cutting out pictures out of magazines and posting them to people and hoping to get there. I didn't have social media and stuff to get me through. So hats off to the guys because they're doing what they can. But again, locally, we've done well. I think the lockdown was the best thing ever, because if we weren't in lockdown, I would hate to think where we were. I really would hate. But I can't see us coming out of lockdown next week. I can't see us coming out of lockdown anytime
Rob,
soon.
just to jump in there, Rob. But maybe silver lining, because with all the lockdown and no MotoGP and stuff like that happening, what's the possibility we see the Binder brothers and like Stephen Odendahl that lining up on a national grid for the rest of the season, because they can't go anywhere? So if we get going and they say, okay, cool, we're gonna kick on again from June, July, maybe with them sitting around doing nothing, maybe they can jump on a national spec superbike and come and entertain the crowds here. So that maybe that's something that can be positive from all the negativity that's around us.
Yeah, listen, I would absolutely love that. Reality won't let that happen. Brad Binder's contracted to KTM. KTM don't have a competitive 600 or 1000 cc. You could ride a Super Duke maybe, but at the same time, those teams pay these guys a lot of money and to ride a GP, not to go ride in national championships where they could potentially crash, get hurt, taken out by somebody else. So I would love to think that could be a reality. Stephen Odendahl, maybe. I think Stephen's a little bit, with his contract with Tenkata, he could climb on an R6 here and maybe do something. That's if we go racing again. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news here.
No, sure. I mean, we have to be realistic.
You've got to be realistic and think, okay, well, we've held it down like now, but we're a country of 50 million people. How many people have honestly been tested? How many people know the science? Look, I think South Africans have got a stronger immunity than the rest of the world, I think, to be honest. We've been brought up with harsh conditions. I think we're a lot tougher than a lot of people, and that's not a bad thing on the Europeans and that, but without our weather conditions and that. And I think we've been responsible in a way that we've maintained it for now, but I still think this is just the beginning. I don't think I don't even think we're halfway through this thing. I think there's still a long road ahead, and the whole economy is taking strain. The biking industry, the car, every single industry in South Africa is taking strain, and it's just a matter of being as responsible as we can for now, obeying the laws. Don't go stand in a queue and drive unnecessarily and do those stupid things that I see people doing. Let's just be responsible for the responsibility's been put in our hands. We as humanity have created this cock. Let's sort it out. We're the only ones who can fix this. No one else can fix this. You can, you know,
I'm not
I
laughing
believe in
at
the
you,
Lord.
I promise. I'm just like, I'm in this nervous
No,
state of going, oh my
dude,
God, I don't want this to be true. I want us to go
dude,
racing.
I'm,
But I hear
I'm
you.
a real,
It's,
I'm a realist, and I sit here at home looking at pictures of my family, having not been with my family for 3 weeks here, and it's the reality. It's, you know,
yeah,
it's a harsh reality. We can sit and I believe in God, I love God, but we can sit and pray to Him as much as we want. He's the responsibility is in our hands to get this fixed now. So let's do everything we can to fix it. And when we do come out of this, I
yeah.
think as a nation, as humanity, we need to just pull together and just really, I mean, we all complain about, oh, I wish I could just sit at home and do nothing. Well, I don't want to sit at home and do nothing because it's cock. Let me tell you, it's
Mm,
horrible. I want to get
yeah.
back out there. I want to get back to work, and I want to get this economy booming. So coming back to racing
Tell me
worldwide, I
about the
don't.
testing before we go
Okay,
and cut you off.
yeah, let's
I want to
yeah,
know
let's go
about
on.
your April edition. Talk about the bikes very quickly because I need to. It's my job. I need to get in there. But let's talk about the last issue. You were one of the first publishers to jump on we need to do a digital. There's a whole bunch of bad stuff happening. I'm going to do a free edition to all my supporters. Rob, that's something very honorable and amazing. Tell us very quickly about the test. Tell us about the bike that stood out the most for you and the Hondas very quickly. Please, sir.
So it was a world exclusive test. We had the 6 bikes, an SA Scoop test on the new Fireblades. Big thank you to Honda for giving us that test. Rian and Paul Jacobs and the whole team from Honda South Africa, trusting their brand, trusting their instincts, and letting us ride those bikes. They are homologation bikes, so they technically shouldn't have been ridden. Yamaha with their brand new R1 also giving us the Scoop test on that. And then we also had the SA Scoop test on Kawasaki's new ZH2 naked supercharged bike. And yeah, as far as sending the April issue out as a free digital, that was more a goodwill gesture from publisher Glenn Foley. We kind of sat down and thought, what are we going to do here? We can't print it, we can't distribute. Okay, let's send it
Yeah.
out as a digital. Let's charge people. Let's take their money. We need to pay our bills. And then Glenn sat there and said, you know what? These are tough times. People are struggling with their money. Let's put smiles on faces. Let's send it out as a free digital. So a brilliant job, and I was happy to do that as well. It was really a
Rob,
great idea.
sorry, Rob. I just want to jump in there, but like I've just got two things to say on that. Firstly, shot for the invite, and then secondly, this free digital copy that you've released. Where will people be able to find it if they haven't seen it already?
So if you go onto the Ride Fast magazine page, you'll see it posted there. It's been put all over Facebook, but www.motomedia.co.za. So motomedia.co.za, and we've got the latest issue of Ride Fast up on there, the April. We've got the March issue. We're going to be loading some back issues on there as well as the new and back issues of Dirt and Trail magazine. So it's a platform where you can read SA's best magazines on one website. So yeah, the April issue.
Yeah.
I wanted to invite you, Clifford, but we had another superstar come and join us. That was Keith. So he takes up a lot of the paddock when he's there. So
Oh, you need to know with all my years of rookie experience, let's just highlight. Look, I'm going to just be very forthcoming about it. I've spoken about it. I'm not going to stop speaking about it. That was the first day I've been invited to a day next to track with bikes available on that level, and it was next level. It was amazing to spend time with Uncle Ricky in the paddock. That is a man filled with motorcycle knowledge. You can't stop. You can't wait for him to just open his mouth, honestly. He gets me all excited in the paddock. And then we also have Sean there. So it was a good test. Rob, thanks for that. But catch the free edition. I had a few things to say, which is very top level, amateur level comments, but go read it.
we had you as the rookie, kind of giving your
Absolutely.
limited experience, and then we had Ricky Moraes as the master give his opinion. So we had all the bases covered, and we had Donovan Free do the main test. We've got some nice video footage you're going to be sending me soon, which we'll put out. So yeah,
Yes,
it was an awesome
from
test.
tomorrow
Brand
we'll
new
saturate the. Yeah, we'll be doing onboards.
blow
I
it
should
up.
not. I should load it everywhere. So catch it on Ridefast Facebook page and their website. And then also on Raceday.tv, we'll do that and paste it on Hanging Cable. We're going to saturate you guys with some great onboard footage and keep the smile and positive vibes going. Rob, thanks for joining us on the show. Good luck with the isolation. And yeah, I feel there's a few things that we'll be in contact with soon. And we hope to join forces with you every week. But
Anytime, dudes. Thanks very much for the show. Enjoy. I'll be watching the rest of it for sure.
Sweet, Rob. Thanks, man.
Cheers,
Cliffy,
Rob. Take it easy, bud. Yeah.
Cheers, Cliffy. Thank you.
I mean, cheers, Rob. Take it easy, bud.
I'm
Yeah, Keith, I won't
absolutely.
lie.
The only reason I'm on this show is to be the timekeeper, guys. Let's be honest. I'm just here to make sure that we run according to time. Sorry to cut you off there. But Cliff, that was good insight from Rob, and the fact that he really is the connection between MotoGP and South Africa and a lot of the riders, especially the binders and that on. It's scary to see how real this has become. I mean, we didn't want to pay too much attention to it 2 weeks ago, but it's become unavoidable, unfortunately. And I think a lot of us are trying to keep it positive. But how was that insight, and what do you make of that feedback on the contract and just everything coming to a halt,
Yeah.
bud?
So, I mean, it was quite interesting for me that, and like you said, Rob gets the inside scoop. I mean, he got it before the MotoGP riders got it. So that was quite
Yeah,
interesting. But yeah, I think what he says is pretty much, I mean, we don't know for sure, but I'd say that's probably bang on. I mean, they can't really chuck guys out yet, I mean, without a wheel being turned this season. So they'll probably roll it on, which will prolong Rossi's career. So he'll be pushing pension age by the time he actually decides to retire and being probably in the 60s if this carries on. But
or
yeah,
never.
it's a difficult situation, but I'm sure they're going to try and cover all bases and try and make sure that no one gets done in going forward. But yeah, it's a long time to wait to 2021. I mean, we speculated for so long, especially with Brad making the step up, and there was a much bigger interest and buy-in from South
Yeah.
African citizens and that into seeing what's happening in MotoGP. So yeah, it's really, really, really delayed everything, but I'm sure it'll be worth the wait.
Yeah, look, it's going to be interesting times. I did get a phone call from a certain person, very much involved with SASBK and all the Bridgestone series and ZX10 and Zontas and all of that, and I was just friendly reminded that the guys here in MSA and everyone's going to really try and make it worth everyone invested into local racing and try and keep the series going as much as possible. There's also a few exhibition events that might be coming our way, Cliffy, an endurance race or two at the end of the year, if we can get out, and if only we can get out for a short period of time. These the people in the driving seat seem to be making plans already, which seems very exciting for local races. So we'll see and have a look out for that. But another guy that we have to bring on the line now, one of our local 600 superstars, Ricardo Otto. Welcome to the show this evening, young man. How are you doing?
How's it? Good, thanks, and you?
Very good, thank you. Cliffy, do you want to hit this man with your knowledgeable questions?
So I mean, it's a basic question, and I mean, I just want to throw it out there. But I mean, I didn't know a hell of a lot about you up until the last season and a half. So why don't you tell all the Raceday viewers a bit about yourself? Because you're not a local man by any means. You come all the way from George, so already that in itself is quite an interesting fact to throw out there. But tell us who Ricardo Otto is and where you started racing and where you're going, bud.
So yeah, I started racing. I actually rode motocross. I started riding motocross when I was 9 years old, and then I did the speedway racing. And then when in 2014, my dad got an invite from Clinton Pinot to a Dubai camp with Joey Litchens and all them. So then I actually got the love for the sport, and yeah, so I started off with the NSF 100 for a year or two, and then I went to a 150s for like 3 races, and then I just started racing 250s and national 300s.
And now you're on a 600 racing nationals and Monaco all together. How's the step up been? I mean, it's been a quick succession for you because, like you said, you spent like 3 months on a 150, and now all of a sudden you're on a 600. How's that transition period been for you? Because from what I saw in the last round of the SASBK series, you were pedaling that R6.
Yeah, you know, it was difficult for me to change from the bikes the whole time with the speed and all of that. But luckily I adapt quickly on the bikes, and yeah, I just like the speed more on the 600. So I climbed on the 600 when I was 13 years old. It was my first time I rode it, and yeah, I was actually on pace then already. So yeah, for me the 600s. I actually just pushed myself to get on the 600 like throughout my racing career. So yeah.
Cliffy, I want to
And
jump in here because
yeah,
I want
jump
to.
in.
There's a just because you keep telling us about the 600 and you prefer the speed and stuff like that. There's been a numerous amount of pictures from the SASBK races and some in PE at the Scribanti track. Just every time you go around a corner, you're backing it into a corner, and there's so many because it looks cool. Let's be honest, it looks amazing. You look like a master of the trade and the skill. How do you do that? Do you do it intentionally? Please share that with myself and everyone watching at home.
No, not actually. Like when you go into a corner with the R6 and stuff, when you brake hard, the bike actually lifts up, and then with the engine braking, the bike just starts backing in. But with the new R6, it just helps so much better just backing it in because you can actually turn the bike easier. And then, but on the older generation, when you back the bike in, it actually makes you slower because you can't turn the bike while it's backing in. So yeah, I don't try backing it in, but it does that automatically, and yeah, I don't really mind that because of my motocross experience.
Cliffy, I'm just going to leave it there because I know there are people at home that see these pictures and go, how do they do that? Because you've seen the same with shares, and it's just like such a natural way of taking a corner. And Kevin also does that. I've seen him in Cape Town do the same. Cliff, sorry to interrupt. Up back to you.
Yeah, I mean, great question because I was also taking some notes there because yeah, it looks awesome for pictures and that, and I mean to be able to do it on demand is amazing. But going back to it, I mean, now you say you come all the way from George. What would you consider is your home circuit on the SASBK calendar? Is it East London? Is it PE? Is it Cape Town? Or is there anything up here in Joburg that you would call your home track or a track of preference? Or because I mean, George is quite far from everything. So where are you riding when you're practicing?
So PE is actually the closest track. It's 350 kilometers away from me. But so that's actually the track that I actually learned how to ride and how to slide the bike. So we would go there for a day or two, then I would start the day, ride the tire till you actually can see the wire on the tire. And then you change the tire, and for the second day, you just ride the whole time. So PE is my favorite track, and I think that track is the track that actually learned me a lot there.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that you'd be driving out 350 k's just to get some practice in. But I suppose it's what we do. Yeah, it's what we do for the sport we love. Hey, Keith?
Yeah.
But looking at it now, I mean, with the whole series being up in the air and that sort of thing, are you looking to spend a long time now on 600s, or is the natural progression now to maybe next season or the season after that jump onto the 1,000 national class and go from there? What's the plan for the next year or so for you?
So my aim for this year is actually to win the 600 championship, the national championship, and the Monaco championship, and then go on to the thousands next year when I turn 18. But then not ride nationals, just to get to know the thousands and all that. Ride the regional championships and maybe some Monaco races, and then from the thousands, I would like to go overseas and stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's what you're saying now, but I'm pretty sure if you go 1,000cc, we'll see you on a national grid in no time, because that's what we always say. If I could just be a part of it, I'll be so happy. And the next thing you know, it's if I could just be in the front and if I could just run new tires. So I'm pretty sure, looking at you and your competitive nature, and that it won't be 5 laps and you'll be trying to figure out how you can go to national superbike racing. Keith, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, look, I'm totally gonna back Cliff up there. Ricardo, we've seen you the last round 2 of SASBK at Sparkle. You know, you walked away with the win there that day, double win, and you make it look so easy, you know. And I honestly feel like it's going to be a very similar scenario to Blaze Baker, where you go from 600 to 1,000. I mean, he manhandled that 1,000 like a 600. And I'm pretty sure you're very much in line with that. You're too competitive and too fast. Like, I'd be very sad to see you not partake in the SASBK grid if you take on a 1,000cc, right?
Yeah. So I'll see what my times look like and my confidence on the 1,000 and all that. And if I'm actually on pace, I would jump on into the SBK series straight on. But if I'm like 2 seconds, 3 seconds off, I would just like to learn the 1,000 the whole year and then maybe come back and then win the championship immediately.
Just getting back to this season, I mean, obviously, we hypothetically speaking, to terms of the season returns very quickly and we can get back on the track and that kind of thing. But if we had to go back to track, who would you be more worried about this year? I mean, Brett Roberts has been his first year in the National Series. He came in with a bang. I mean, what's your thoughts on that young man? And also, how do you place Tariq at this moment? Because you guys have a big dogfight most of the time.
Yeah. So Brett Roberts started racing last year, I think, but he's getting faster every time I see him. Like the first race at Swartkops, he was doing 105s. Then the second race, I saw him doing 104. So he'll soon be in the 103s at Swartkops. And I think if we have a wet race, he will just lead, because I just saw his motocross skills on running off the track, and that's just insane. So and then I think Jared Schultz and Dino Yotso will be really a challenge to beat them, because they're both really extremely fast, racing overseas and all that. So I think it will be a good fight with Tariq also coming in, Tariq van der Merwe, because he's also really fast. So it will be fun racing, because all of us are actually on the same pace already. So it would actually be a four-way battle for the first.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I mean, that's a very competitive field. If everyone from the overseas field come back, like Gerald, Dino, and other, that's going to be quite a field, Cliffy. I mean, that's quite a 600 super score to follow. Your opposition in the Monaco series, who would you rate there as your biggest competitor in that series?
So the first Monaco race, I was racing against Jared, and then we also had a bit of a battle there. So he would also come back to the Monaco series, and then we would also have another dice again. And Connor Hagen from Cape Town, he started racing the 600 last year, and he's getting really fast every time I see him. So I think if he just gets that Suzuki if he just gets to know the Suzuki, he would also be at the top,
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I mean, this is the one thing, Cliffy. It does seem like, considering the times and the situation we all find ourselves in, there's a big momentum and drive with a lot of potential young 600 riders, which is looking good for future national racing. What do you think?
I do. I think, it's as we look at the fields in that now, it's not as big as what it can be. But I think, if some of the guys are not racing overseas, and like we said with Rob, silver linings, maybe some of the guys come back and race locally for the rest of the year should international racing be cancelled. I think it's going to do wonders for the 600 class, because you've got the international guys coming back, and obviously youngsters like Connor Hagen, who is a fast youngster, and we forget about him a lot, but he is really quick. So guys like him, I think, will up their game, and it will just go from strength to strength from there and have a big domino effect. So, I mean, as much as we complain about the COVID virus and that, there are a few things that can work in our favor from a national series point of view. So, I mean, if international racing does get cancelled, and it's not all doom and gloom, there are things to look forward to, and I think that will work in our favor quite nicely, to be honest.
Cool. Ricardo, just before we let you go, I'm not sure if you do know, and if you don't know, I'm just going to inform you. So a couple of weeks ago, or a few months ago, when we started Hanging Cable South Africa on Raceday, episode 1 or 2, Cliffy, I think we started in 2. We put a challenge out there, and just a friendly competition to just acknowledge photographers in motorsport and superbike racing in South Africa a bit more. We put out a few Raceday stickers that we handed out on a few motorcycles. I believe your bike has a few of them. They look fantastic. Thanks very much for the support. High five, hypothetical Bluetooth. But so we had a few entries. There was fantastic entries. We had Sean Portman on the Ducati with the guys from Courageous Studios submitting that. We also had Sean Stoutgat from Mark, number 51, that submitted pictures. Unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances, they were withdrawn from the competition. So just before we let you go, I'd like to just announce that with internal vote and a public vote that we sent out the selected pictures to some of our friends online and in our community, you are and have been chosen as the winning rider that features in a photo that was taken from Jeff Latham out of Pia at the Scribanti. That's the picture. There's a series just like that one. There's a couple of that. And the young Latham was with his father that day too, a young photographer couple, father and son. So from Motul, who's now come on board to be our official competition sponsor into this Best Picture of Raceday competition. It's driven by Motul. Congratulations, you'll be receiving 1,500 Rand cash for that picture, as along with Jeff, the photographer.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And well done, Uncle Jeff, for that, for the photo and your son. It's a really nice photo.
Yeah.
I like that.
We're going to have a chat with Jeff just now. We are very proud to also just announce that Motul have come on board and supported us for a few competitions, as like that one that we announced now. They're going to be supporting and providing the prize money to the photographer. Not only that, they've selected Jeff to be part of their new competition, driven by Motul, Motul Moments, and we'll be releasing that and starting that competition tomorrow, where it's a coloring competition, where some of the selected pictures from Jeff's collection will be altered and edited for coloring lines, and we'll be sending that out, and you can submit it at home. Let your kids color it in via pencils, crayons, digitally. We'll do submissions, and we'll vote for that at the end of the competition. There's a winner that will be announced, and we'll be receiving a big Motul hamper. So, kudos Motul. Ricardo, well done, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you very
We'll
much.
definitely catch you on the flip side when we return to racing. Cliffy?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, cheers, Ricardo. Thanks for sitting in with us, and yeah, we hope to see you on track soon, bud.
Cool. Cheers. Have a nice day, you guys.
Cool. Cheers, Ricardo. Thanks, man.
Cheers.
Then, Cliffy, I mean, as we said, we've got a competition that was interesting to start off with. I need to just throw it out there onto everyone watching and supporting Raceday.tv. We are here to promote all people involved with motorsport across the country and worldwide. Photographers, medias, riders, teams, whichever you are. We're here for you guys. We are part of you guys. We just really enjoy being a part of what you're doing. So keep supporting us and us giving back with Motul coming on board. There's the photographer family. Hi guys, how you doing? Jeff and
Thank you. Photo.
Yeah, I just passed.
So I'm gonna.
Oh, sorry, I've got to start the proper way. Hi, this is Jeff Latham reporting very much alive and well from Port Elizabeth, South Africa. Good evening, listeners.
Guys, so welcome to the show, family. Jeff, I just want to say from a Raceday and a Motul initiative, congratulations on entering that picture of Ricardo Otto and winning the Raceday Best Picture, sponsored by Motul, coming in and supporting the initiative. So much so that they've come on board, join forces with Raceday and Ride Fast magazine in competition. But yeah, congrats. You want to just tell us how long you guys have been doing it and why you shoot motorsport so much? Like, it's fantastic.
Well, I actually started last year. I got a new job, and my colleague that I met, Ray Stewart, he races at Scribanti, and I said to him, I said, Stewart, let me know when you go and race, and I'd like to expand my genre of photography. I'd like to actually go and shoot some motorsports, so I'll come and shoot you, And yeah, the bug bit me that day. That was the 25th of May last year. And to this day, I've been shooting motorsport, and it's been paying off. It's been awesome. I love it.
Yeah, so I wanted to, because we chatted earlier today, and I saw that you sent me a few pictures that you've taken recently, and then there were some pictures from your youngster over there. Is it a whole family thing, or how does it work on that side?
Well, actually, my son showed interest last year. He actually asked me. I do photos at church as well, the band, and do some concerts and that. And he asked me, can you join me? And I actually thought, well, why not? Father and son, And then when I went to my first motorsport event last year, he joined me, and he just loves it. I don't have to tell him what to do. I let him take his own pictures that he wants, and I tell you, I'm even blown away about what he takes.
Yeah, it's really impressive, and it's so cool to see like a family unit getting involved in motorsport. If you had any tips for us that want to be photographers that like to film themselves, what would be the main tip that you would give us?
Look, it's passion, and quality. Not necessary equipment. Yes, equipment can help you to get the shots that you want, but really, its passion is to go out there and market motorsport using the means of media. Create a story, promote your local racing track.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Keith, you know on the media side because you've been involved with it for a long time. It's not as easy as people think. Have you got anything to add to that? Because I mean, you've run around Midval with me with cameras and all sorts.
Yeah, look, I think this is a big part of what I think we do as Raceday.tv, and the whole kind of, we want to bring a certain quality to the sport, and we appreciate people, because I think there's a lot of riders and drivers that love seeing pictures and videos of them on the motorbike or in the cars, taking fast corners, winning races. And it's a selfless kind of job, because I don't think people realize that not all the photographers and videographers in the industry get paid to do it. It's a passion kind of project, and you need to do it for the love of the sport and for the understanding. And it's just it's a passion thing, it's a hobby. If racing's in your blood, and the fact that you can take good pictures and video goes along with it, it just makes for a better end product. And I think it's all just, this is why we took the initiative, and thanks for Motul for the support to coming on board with us to just acknowledge the behind the scenes people, because the people in front of camera, in the cars and on the bikes, look amazing. They look cool. You can't take a bad picture of these people. So them putting their lives at risk, doing what they love, enables other people to do what they love. And I think that's just the kind of camaraderie that racing brings to everyone. So kudos to you guys for doing it, and getting involved with MSA, being part of the training program, getting the accreditation. Good for MSA to allowing people to do that. And once again, congratulations on being selected as the winners of the best race day picture on motorcycle competition, powered by Motul. And now we're going to start a series with a new Motul moment. So yeah, cheers to you guys. I can't show that. And we'll get you. We'll get you on the. We'll get you guys back soon. But we'll definitely support and follow you guys. And to all the other photographers out there, big ups to you guys, and thanks for supporting local motorsport. You guys are really heroes that make other heroes look the part.
No, also,
I mean, 100%. Yeah, sorry, Jeff. I just noticed now, because I'm technologically challenged, but I've just noticed now that there's a few heads poking on the side of my screen here. Who have you got sitting there next to you?
This is my son Joshua, and this is my daughter Nina.
So soon she'll be following in the same footsteps, eh? And you'll have to pay for 3 cameras.
Yeah, Nina's got her own little camera.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, congrats on the win, and I mean, good work. I thought, Keith, that the winning photo was going to be Ricardo backing it in after the way you were getting all excited about that earlier with Ricardo in the studio. But proper pictures, and keep it up, man. We need it trackside, like you can't believe.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome. Jeff, well, I really appreciate you guys coming onto the show this evening. I'm pretty sure it's not the last time we'll see you faces on our screens. And definitely look out for the competition we're starting off tomorrow. I need to tell all you guys that I'm excited. I got a phone call just before this, before the show, just telling us that there's a few endurance races being planned for the end of the year, which the Raceday team and the Catch-22 Dead Rabbit Racing team will be involved. So stay tuned for that. The viewers at home, I'm having issues tonight. It's no one else's fault except my own and my digital device. I can't comment on your responses, but Fani, Francois, Christopher, Rob, Sean, Hank, everyone watching, Jordan, other Keith, you guys, I appreciate you watching the show. Thanks for all the comments. Share it, like it. We're going to be doing a lot of videos, I think, the next couple of days, Cliffy, where we're going to be uploading the tests we did with Ride Fast. and then also the motor competition. And then definitely a series of stuff to watch out for. There's highlights of the Monaco series coming out next week. And then also SASBK, ZX10 and Zontas. We've got some features and new videos being released that's not been seen before. So we are rehashing and using all the content. And yeah, I think everyone should stay tuned. Cliff, what are you doing?
So, I'm actually, like you're saying, rehashing, but I mean, I've been sitting on YouTube and watching some reruns of some classic races. I mean, the other day, the guys on the ZX10 group put up that they were showing the 2004 Pekisa race in Valcom, where Rossi won for the first time on the Yamaha. And I mean, reliving all those moments, Super Sports re-showing 2010 World Superbikes, where you see Kyalami's on the point standing, and just being nostalgic, reliving the old days. But one thing that has become quite sad to me, I'd actually like to ask some of the viewers as well. We look at Pekisa, what it was in 2004, and it was a world-class track. And I mean, we know what it's like now. I mean, I'm pretty sure as we speak, that tie-down is still sitting across the staircase on the control tower, holding everything together. But I'd like to know from some of the viewers in that, I mean, if we said, okay, cool, we're setting up a track day or we're doing a race weekend, but everyone comes down a day earlier and we help clean up and paint and retitivate the track, whatever, who would actually be keen to do that? Like repaint rumble strips and things like that? Because there's a lot of tracks. I mean, East London, I hear rumors that there's chances of it losing a lot of races and closing down. Midval's not in the best state. Pekisa is horrendous, which was an iconic track on the South African calendar and on the international calendar. And I'd just like to know, like from the guys, if we said, let's go down 1 or 2 days earlier before we race and put in a day's hard labor, who'd be keen to do that? Because I think it's needed at this point in time.
Yeah, look, I think it's a good point to raise, and I think everyone at home and watching, organizations, individuals, I just want to interrupt. Jeff, we're getting into serious stuff here. Let's conclude your competition winning 1,500 Rand sponsored by Motul. Thanks for joining us on the show. I just need to say goodbye. I'm like the timekeeper in the most inappropriate manner. I do apologize. Congratulations, and we'll be in touch with you soon. Thanks for joining us, you family.
Yeah.
Guys,
We just left it hanging on there, eh?
That was me. I just realized. I literally had like a little spike going notification. Hi, we're still here. Anyway, I apologize for that. Back to the initiative, Cliff. I think there's a lot of local tracks that need a lot of support, even now more so than ever before. I do know that I was guaranteed, if we go back to racing in 2020 in South Africa, the first event post liftment of the lockdown would be at East London, a full all bike day event that will take place there. So that's something to look forward to. There is an open entry for all local Cape Town, East London and PE riders to participate in those ZX10 Bridgestone Challenge Nationals 150s, Motards, and the Zontas 310 would all be there for that day. So that's a big event going to that racetrack. But yeah, I think it's a good time to initiate kind of challenges. You know, everyone's doing challenges online. We've seen a lot of the Superbike races, including you and myself, taking part of the Suited Up Challenge. So maybe, you know, we that's been going well. I think my hat's off to everyone. If you don't know what it is, go follow. We've posted it everywhere. Challenge riders for doing exercise at home. But besides the point, Cliff, maybe we should challenge companies or corporate. I know there's a lot of people doing initiatives and we support all of it. Greg, Gary, all of you guys doing stuff, we get it. But also for the tracks, maybe we should start an initiative for the tracks to help support them in these times. You know, Cliff, I don't know. Should we do a corporate challenge to get involved with uplifting tracks after the lockdown?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Because I mean, I sat and I was watching that MotoGP race, and you watched the times that Rossi and Max Biaggi were doing around there. They were doing like 133s in 2004, and you think like some of our national guys get pretty close to that. I mean, within 5 seconds, I'm pretty sure. But then you've got to look and say, but you know that the tar surface is not what it used to be, and it's bumpy and all sorts. But yeah, for sure. But I mean, I mean, tar surface and that sort of thing is a whole different kettle of fish with budget and all sorts. But I mean, that wouldn't stop us from just painting the rumble strips and painting the pits and raking the gravel traps. I think that would go a long way because most people love Pikisa and it's just completely falling apart and it's very sad. So I mean, it's been excluded from the national calendar and we just need to do the small things just to try and get it back on the map. And I think that would go a long way to secure racing in the future.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm just going to throw it out there. You know, the show is kind of ad hoc and we always have a certain line and we know what we can talk about. But this kind of subject just came and jumped on us. So I think I'm going to call out all companies involved with Superbike and motorsport in racing in South Africa across the board. If anyone's got interest to try and uplift, I know there's many theories about there's certain people coming involved and there's certain racetracks that government managed and it's being privatized again. But let's actually just pay attention and do a bit of effort. You know, at least in this time of not racing, let's prepare for getting back into it with a bang. You know, I think from a Raceday perspective, we'll support and do as much as we can as we try. Cliff, should we just do it?
Yeah. I think so. I think we need to sort out a few of the guys that are struggling, but I think for all of us, it will serve a great purpose. And yeah, when we go racing, then we can go back racing with a bang. You know.
Yeah. Look, I mean that back racing thing. We're quite optimistic at Raceday.tv and on Team Cable. Myself and Cliff are preparing to get back into racing with a bang with a few surprises. But yeah, I mean, in reality, let's make the best of it. Let's support each other. Let's share videos, do what we can. I have something to share because I understand there's a lot of e-racing and gaming initiatives coming apart, and you should support and enter as many as you can if you have Xbox, PlayStation, all of that. But there are a few games, Cliffy, that I know you don't like technology that much. So there's a few list of games that I'll post beneath this video that you can go and upload and like and download for free and play against some of us, and we can just kill the time with racing online.
I'm pretty sure you've just made Chris Wilkins there, eh?
Well, I suppose there's a few people that want to do a motorcycle challenge, online kind of gaming challenge for South African nationals or everyone in between. So if you are going to do it, please let us know the details. We'll support that and get involved. Cliffy, I think we've come to the end of our episode today. Thank you for your time. I love hearing from you and all of our guests, Rob, Ricardo, and Jeff and family. And then obviously we're powered by Motul as of from today. Thank you so much for the initiative. We'll send you those Motul moments and upload those competition details tomorrow. From myself in my home studio. Thanks from Raceday.tv. Thank you very much to Fritz, Henk, all of our sponsors, Watswaye, Ink Monkey, Bottom Side, Provisual, Cashew into Dead Rabbit Racing, Show Me South Africa, Hell's Kitchen, and Dead Rabbit Distillery. Wow, that sounded professional, I must have.
I'm impressed you remembered all that, eh? That's why you're the professional on the show, eh?
Professional trier.
But yeah, to all the people out there, thanks for watching. Keep safe, and then hopefully you'll be back again next week, Keith.
Yeah, definitely next week. I think there's a few surprises. We'll get more details about Maloney and his e-racing competition that's going on and send you links for that. We'll talk to the organizers of Motorsport South Africa on a Superbike front, and then also include a few more Monaco or other riders into next week's show. Thanks for watching, and support, like, and share our page. Good evening, and thanks from Hanging Cable South Africa. Bye.
Cheers, guys.